What's going on, everyone? Oh, this is tough to see, isn't it? That iconic Sega logo, all in capital letters, taken down off the front of its once crowning centers of entertainment and pure peak arcade gaming greatness. Like many gamers my age, we are children of the arcades. Those coin devouring, high-tech, futuristic-looking cabinets which house the peak of what gaming could achieve through the 80s and 90s. It wasn't just the jaw-dropping amazing graphics of the time which grabbed us, it was also the visual splendor of these machines, the artistic care and creativity that conjured them into physical form. The very same physical form which lured us in like the voices of sirens, beckoning sailors into the deep abyss, except this deep abyss with neon lights covered in glorious gaming artwork, heart-pumping, addictive soundtracks calling to us, and the excitement of large groups of people all huddled around these machines, engaged and transfixed in their electronic wonder. The arcades were everything and everywhere, and were the cornerstone of the gaming world which we were growing up in and loving absolutely every single moment. So, we've had the news story today that Sega's famous Japanese arcade centers will finally be closing down after crazy amounts of years. Not the centers themselves or the machines that are in them, as they will be taken over by another amusement company, but the Sega branding itself, which will disappear from these arcade Japanese centers forever. That bright blue and white glorious Sega logo, which was once a symbol of nothing but pure gaming goodness and joy. Now, no longer the name which was synonymous with arcade centers built around the world to celebrate Sega and their rule over the coin-op scene. To me, no one has come close to Sega in the arcades, both in terms of their visual look of the arcades machines themselves and the top-tier pedigree that their games held within the arcade scenes. Sega arcade machines were events unto themselves, almost like mini theme park attractions with all the visual and heart-pumping thrills that theme park rides could conjure up. My biggest dream ever has been to visit Japan. Something I feel is the dream of many people who have lived and breathed Japanese gaming, or naturally have an affinity to Japan through other mediums such as anime, manga, and everything else. And fortunately, this dream has always eluded me, with once plenty of chances to go in the past, but never getting around to actually committing. Something which I'll probably regret to the end of my days. But as you might know by now,
I got 5 kids to feed.
And having a desired selfish trip to Japan is something that I just simply could not do now. But lamenting about the trips to Japan aside, of course I would have loved to have walked into these Sega arcade centers with that glorious logo glowing proudly outside, calling upon my nostalgia for days long past and conjuring up those memories which brought nothing but unfettered joy into my gaming soul. To see this news, even though I've never been to these centers, and to have it still affect me in a certain way, is something that people deeply connected in some way to these things can only truly understand, as we all feel when something you've been associated with all your life is suddenly taken away, never to be seen again. As I'm from the UK, during the late 90s, Sega opened up their once famous SegaWorld in the London-based building called the Trocadero.
SegaWorld is coming to the Trocadero Piccadilly Circus in London. Welcome to the next generation of indoor entertainment.
As a gamer, this felt like a home away from home. You'd walk in and it was peak 90s, peak techno, and peak gaming arcade excitement. Seeing images and statues of Sonic the Hedgehog everywhere and other Sega logos is something even now as an older gamer, still gets me excited, to be around if I stumble into places like this. It was here where I played an absolute ton out of games like Daytona USA and Daytona 2. Oh man, Daytona 2. Along with Manx TT Superbike, which I loved. SegaWorld had like different zones and themes within the building on different levels, called things like Combat Zone, which if I remember correctly had Virtual Cop 2 in there and other fighting games, and another zone was the Race Zone or Racetrack, which housed racing games, as per the title. Or there was also a flying zone, which I remember playing G-Lock in, which is a game I also loved back then. But unfortunately, SegaWorld only lasted a few years, most likely due to Sega bleeding money back then, and the arcade scene, because of the popular rise in home consoles, with now the arcade scene now quickly becoming a relic of the past. SegaWorld closed down, and a Trocadero not long after, unfortunately. It's always sad to see these names and places you once loved and effectively grew up in close down, and even more disheartening knowing that they still survived in other places around the world, places you long to visit one day, now no longer the exact same places you dreamed of visiting, even when it's just names being taken down. But luckily, arcades are still a popular thing in Japan, so if I ever did manage to go one day, I could still sample those neon glowing, sound pumping centers of nothing but pure, unadulterated video gaming goodness, which I miss dearly from back in those days. So Crom Speed, Sega arcade centers, Crom Speed, you'll always have a place in my gaming heart, and I feel nothing but fortunate enough to have experienced arcade centers in their heights back in the 80s and 90s, when gaming to me truly felt like gaming, and Japan was leading the world in our favorite hobby. So let me know your thoughts, people, on this Sega news, or just feel free to reminisce about those old arcade scenes or those old arcade centers you might have gone to or played in and grew up in, an era which I'll certainly touch upon in the future on this channel 100%. But yeah, as always, take care all, and peace.